The Pittsburgh Steelers season opener somehow got worse, as now they are expected to be without Cam Heyward for at least 8 weeks, as he is to undergo surgery on a groin injury, probably going to end up on IR. And who knows what the future, especially this season, holds for the veteran defensive tackle. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, they came into the season and they pride themselves on how deep the defensive line is. They have Larry Ogunjobi, they have DeMarvin Leal, they have Isaiah Loudermilk, they have Keanu Benton and Armon Watts and Montravius Adams. And if they wanted to, they could bring Braden Fajoko up and stay just as deep as they were. But if you were to formulate the Pittsburgh Steelers defense and put it all into a pot, you're starting with TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Cam Heyward. Those are your building blocks to everything else. And to lose Cam Heyward for this chunk of time is significant. I don't care how old he is. I don't care how deep the defensive line is for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a huge loss for that defense, and one that is going to be extremely difficult to overcome, even if you already have options. And the Steelers could look at it like this and say, hey, DeMarvin Leal is ready to start. Let's toss him in there. Isaiah Loudermilk is capable of starting. Let's toss him in there. Keanu Benton is a second-round rookie, but he's really promising, and he is the future of that defensive line. Let's toss him in there. And then you call Braden Fajoko up from the practice squad, and everybody's just fine. And the room is just as deep as they were 2 days ago, obviously without their biggest component. Or you could go out and make a splash signing and make a phone call and say, hey, remember all those times that you said you regretted not playing with your brother? Remember that time in 2021 where you wouldn't sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers because you didn't want to get in the way of a mega contract extension for your brother? Well, your brother's paid, and so is Alex Highsmith, and so is Minkah Fitzpatrick, and there's some cap space and a spot on the defensive line, and we desperately need somebody for the next 8 weeks. That name is J.J. Watt, obviously. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, well, I don't know how hard they've ever tried to go get this guy. I don't know how much conversation has actually been had, or if any conversation has ever been had. I mean, from the sounds of it, J.J. Watt knew the whole time in 2021 that he wasn't going to end up in Pittsburgh because he just wanted to make sure that TJ got paid. TJ got paid, and he is paid, and he's doing just fine. And now JJ, who's retired and isn't going to come out of retirement for anybody. I think that's the biggest thing here is the Pittsburgh Steelers are probably the only team that J.J. Watt would come out of retirement for. He's not going to come play for Houston because Houston is not a Super Bowl contender. They're not a playoff team. They're not a team that is going to do anything that is deserving of calling a guy who's a future Hall of Famer and saying, hey, we need your superstar abilities to take us to the next level. He's not going to come out of retirement for the Arizona Cardinals. They're in the same boat. He's probably not going to come out of retirement for any team, even if they were a Super Bowl contender, just because they called and they needed somebody. The Pittsburgh Steelers are different. He gets an opportunity to come out of retirement, play one season, which I get is a lot, but all you're doing is playing one season, and all you have to do is start for 8 weeks with a really deep defensive line and be able to fill in and replace Cam Heyward for as long as the Steelers need you to, and then you just play a backup role with Larry Ogunjobi and DeMarvin Leal and Isaiah Loudermilk, and it's not too much stress on your body, and you're not taking insane amounts of hits, but you're just playing a really good, I don't want to say a bench piece, but that's what you are. You're going to come off the bench and be another superstar in the mix of a really, really talented defensive line 8 weeks into the season, unless you're an absolute monster, and then the Steelers have decisions to make on whether or not it's Cam Heyward or Larry Ogunjobi or J.J. Watt and Cam Heyward or J.J. Watt and Larry Ogunjobi. I have no idea. But it's an option. And if J.J. Watt's going to come out of retirement, he's obviously going to do it for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and an opportunity to play with his brother TJ, who's already got 3 sacks on the season and a defense that looks on paper very, very good, even if they didn't show it in week 1 against the San Francisco 49ers. But a team that looks very, very good on paper, a team that still has a ton of upside. And the NFL week 1, I mean, it's as wonky as it gets. You have no idea what's going to happen in week 1 of the NFL season. Watch every single game that's happened. Joe Burrow got blown out by the Cleveland Browns, and somehow Deshaun Watson had a worse game than him. The Buffalo Bills just lost to the New York Jets after Aaron Rodgers goes down 4 plays into the game and they're relying on Zach Wilson, and then a punt returner wins the game for them. That doesn't happen. Week 1 is as crazy as it gets. You have no idea what the season is going to unfold for the Pittsburgh Steelers or how good this team could actually get. And I think J.J. Watt's going to believe, and if you make a phone call and then T.J. makes a phone call and then there's some conversations, I don't understand how it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it's a definite. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I'm saying that J.J. Watt would only retire, most likely unretire, I would say, for one team, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if they need him, which they actually do right now, we've gone through this time and time again where, oh, well, maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers should call J.J. Watt. Oh, maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers should call J.J. Watt. Why shouldn't the Pittsburgh Steelers go get J.J. Watt? There's no reason to go get him. Now there's a reason, and it's a huge reason, and it's a reason that makes a lot of sense. And it's a reason that makes a lot of sense for both sides for it to happen. If JJ is going to come in and try to fight for a Super Bowl and go on a magical run and be the next future Hall of Famer to come back into the league and be that guy to go win a ring, I can't come up with a better storyline than one where he does it with his brother and Mike Tomlin in the city of Pittsburgh, a team that has adored this guy forever and has just screamed, hey, JJ, come to Pittsburgh. Please come to Pittsburgh. Makes a lot of sense. It is as good as it gets. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't even know if the Steelers are going to make a phone call. I'm saying that they should. And that if they did, I feel there's a chance that JJ is going to listen.